Every man carries a wound, and the wound is nearly always given by his father. There's one question, the one every boy and man is longing to ask. Do I have what it takes? Am I powerful? Until a man knows he's a man, he will forever be trying to prove he is one.
1 in every 4 children grow up without a father figure in the home. That means that 1 out of 4 grow up without an answer to that question. Their lives are full of misguided attempts to get an answer, to heal that wound.
It's a vicious cycle. Men with absent fathers become absent fathers. Children raised without a father are 4 times at greater risk of poverty, 7 times more likely to become pregnant as a teen, more likely to have behavioral problems, more likely to face abuse and neglect, 2 times greater risk for infant mortality, more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol, more likely to go to prison, 2 times more likely to suffer obesity, more likely to commit a crime, 2 times more likely to drop out of school. The plan from the beginning of time was that his father would lay the foundation for a young boy's heart and pass on to him that essential knowledge and confidence in his strength. Dad would be the first man in his life and forever the most important man. Above all, he would answer the question for his son and give him his name.
Without the father, these men are left unable to secure manhood and be those portraits of positive masculinity. Instead, they have to create these facades. They spend their lives sprinting away from the ghosts of their fathers, and they build up these empires of dirt around their father wound. What we get is all of these false kings building up their kingdoms only for themselves. A lot of these fathers are those absent fathers who are like, oh, I'm still there for my kids, I provide for my kids, but only in that financial sense. You know, they're not present with their children ever. Their pursuits, that's for them, satisfy their needs in their flesh.
The world is a carnival of counterfeits, counterfeit battles, counterfeit adventures, counterfeit beauties. Men should think of it as a corruption of their strength. Battle your way to the top, says the world, and you are a man. Why is it then that the men who get there are often the emptiest, most frightened, prideful posers around? They are mercenaries battling only to build their own kingdoms. There is nothing transcendent about their lives.
Our hero myth ends when the hero draws his weapon. Our hero's journey is done when the dragon is killed. It's the happily ever after. That's where the father exists. That's the world you're in. That's where life takes place, where you have responsibilities to other people. Generativity. Generativity is the concept. You have to go outside of yourself. Every bad man is a selfish man. Every bad man is run by hedonism to some extent. It's all about their needs, their carnal desires, their flesh's needs. They don't go outside of themselves. They're not those generative kings. They're just mercenaries. They use everybody and everything to satisfy and take care of number one, them. That's not what a father does. It's not what a good man does. I love at the end of A Quiet Place, Lee in that film, the father, he personifies everything that a father should be, everything the father should do when he screams and sacrifices his life so that his kids can go. That's what a father does. That's what a man does. His pursuits, everything that he's after, it's not an attempt to heal and shield his wound and that inferiority he feels inside. He needs to forget that, heal that, and let who he is work outwards towards other people, for other people. What he does is in service of others. Who he is the protector of the kingdom. There's a Jordan Peterson quote, says, "You think tough men are dangerous? Wait until you see what weak men are capable of." It's weak men in society that the definition of toxic masculinity spills from. The men who rape women, the men who abuse women, the men who kill women and other men, they're weak, they're wounded. The barbarian has something to prove. He has land to take. The rapist must hurt women and show his dominance. The abuser has to prove his strength. This comes from the mouth of an abuser himself. In public, I'm a very confident male. At home, I'm very insecure. These men hurt. These men murder to prove their power, to feel like a man. It's a misguided, skewed idea of manhood and masculinity that they're after. They developed these skewed, messed up ways of viewing masculinity and manhood because they didn't have their father there to talk to them about the empathy and the softness and the kindness of manhood and the generativity of manhood. They didn't teach them that men protect. They didn't teach them that men are selfless.
Even if your father did his job, he can only take you part way. There comes a time when you have to leave all that is familiar and go into the unknown with God.
So maybe you're not a father, maybe not even close, maybe you're just a man. But now I'm talking to you. It's your time now. It's your turn to keep the wolves away, like the great song says. What you need to do is take responsibility. Take responsibility for your life and your actions. You need to ask yourself the type of man you want to be. You need to become that. You need to go out there and live your adventure, face your dragon, but do it for others. Find that generativity. Find what you're going to give back. Be a good force. Be that portrait of positive masculinity. You can be the protector. You can be the sheepdog. You can be the hero for all those who can't protect themselves. You can start to play against that pattern of bad father, bad son, bad father, bad son. You can be a good man. Choose to make yourself into that. And if you ever are a father, you show that to your son, you model that to your son, and he can take that and give it to his son. If your father didn't give you your name, give it to your damn self and pass it on to your son. When I see cases like the Sarah Everard story, it pisses me off because I know that's bad men who did that. And it's bad men who created that. When you see stuff like that and it pisses you off, you should be pissed off. And there is stuff you can do about it. There's something you can do, and that is create better men who don't do that. You can create better men by starting to be one today. And then when it's your chance to grow another kid and bring them into this world, you show them that that is not what a man does. It's not who a man is. It's up to us. It's up to every one of us to make this world a little bit better, to make men better. But it starts with you. Forget what your father failed at. Forget the unanswered questions. Take responsibility for yourself. Take responsibility for your actions. Be the man you want to be. Be the man this world needs.